my pleasure to introduce the next speakers, Dr. Candace Taylor and our Dean Turner. We're going to talk to us about promoting physical activity in early childhood through active play. And Candace is one of the recent recruits in the Department of Pediatrics at UC Irvine. She's very active in promoting health and prevention of obesity through primary care. And Arlene is the program coordinator for nutrition and physical activity of the Commission for Children and Families in Orange County. So they both have also very personal interest in promoting health and children.
Thank you. I'm going to try to speak up right now as loud as I can, but I'm going to ask that you all stand. I'm Dr. Candace Taylor, and I'm working with Ms. Arlene Turner, and I'm a pediatrician, and Arlene is as Dr. Candace mentioned, the program and nutrition manager for the Children and Families Commission of Orange County. And one of the things that I have had the opportunity to really be affected by is Arlene's enthusiasm for movement and play. And when I was at UCLA in the School of Public Health, also Dr. Yancey was my mentor and professor. And she tried to get anyone and everyone up and moving in any environment, whether in a community setting or at a conference like this. And I did that even in my home, or my parents' home, with my niece. My niece now is about to be 2 years of age, and I'm going to engage you in a song that I do with her. So please don't judge my vocal skills. The main thing is I just want to get you up and moving. So you're going to imitate what I'm going to do, and you're going to be shouted at by Arlene. Those over here, be prepared. So I like to run in place, to run in place, to run in place, to run in place. I like to walk in place, walk, to walk in place, walk, to walk in place, walk, to walk in place. I like to rock in place, rock, to rock in place, rock, to rock in place, rock, to rock in place. I like to bounce in place, bounce, to bounce in place, bounce, to bounce in place, bounce, to bounce in place. So that's and me. And so
Candace, did you tell them that that's going to win a Grammy?
That's our secret.
Vocals without music background.
Thank you. We said no judgment though, so you've already gone outside of that. Can you hear me okay with this, just to make sure? So Arlene and I are honored to have the opportunity to speak with you today. And our hope is that, one, when you leave, that you will be encouraged to start early, to really be infectious and encourage active play in the spheres of influence that you have with young children. So we're fortunate, and we really got to meet because we both have similar funding streams. So we're supported by the Children and Families Commission of Orange County. Does everyone know what that is? Does anyone know what that is? So the Children and Families Commission of Orange County has First Five funding, and basically those dollars come from tobacco tax money. So although we don't want people to smoke, right now we're benefiting from the fact that there are some smokers. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but essentially we both are passionate about addressing obesity and preventing obesity and managing it, specifically for early young children, 0 to 5. And we focus on children early in life because of the fact that the prevalence of obesity as you march across the life spectrum increases. So almost 1 in 10 young children are already obese. And as you go across the life course, up to adulthood, 1 in 3. So we believe that if we can start early to make enthusiastic exercisers, then we'll be able to impact that. And our spheres of influence are primarily in the cities at the bottom of this graph. I bring this up just to highlight the fact that obesity does highly reflect your environment. So children living in low-income households and also children of racial and ethnic minority backgrounds, they're at increased risk for the prevalence of obesity. Arlene and I both work primarily in Orange, Anaheim, and Santa Ana. And as Mr. Rea just said, Santa Ana was previously the most populated city, and now Anaheim is. These are communities that may have limited access to parks, may have limited access to space. But how many of you felt your heart rate get up when we were moving just in place? So that's one of the things that we want to talk about. But in addition, in building on the fact that the Institute of Medicine highlights 5 key focus areas, including assessing risk for obesity, physical activity, healthy eating, reducing marketing in screen time, and increasing optimal sleep, we decided that a good step for our initial collaboration was to try to develop a program working with parents and preschool age children. That program was called Power for Health. So POWER stands for Preventing Obesity with Empowerment and Readiness. And it's in line with the Commission's goals for us because of the fact that the Children and Families Commission, it's primarily implemented to promote healthy behavior and optimal development for children. So with Power for Health, Arlene and I had the opportunity to collaborate with several other stakeholders that are outlined here to specifically work with parents to model behaviors, to educate them, and also to partner with some undergraduate students as well. And our purpose really was to share Power for Health messages with children, with parents, and with volunteers and teachers. And those messages included 1, fill up on fruits and vegetables. 2, water is best. 3, active play every day. And 4, sleep counts. And broadly what we learned was that the prevalence that we demonstrated in the slides earlier was actually mirrored in the populations that we were serving. So there was an increased prevalence of obesity with children with a BMI greater than or equal to the 95th percentile. And then there also was an overestimate of children's motor abilities. And I'm going to let Arlene talk a little bit about that now.
Can I use this mic? Yeah? Can we both? Can you hear me? Okay, I'd like to ask you to stand up again, please. And if I want you to work at whatever your ability level is. So if you can't actually move freely, just give me a little bounce. So the first thing I want to ask is, when we're talking about fundamental movement skills, those are basic skills that, for those of you that heard John Benoit Samuelson this morning, you learned out in the neighborhood and running and chasing after siblings and friends. And today we have a hard time assessing fundamental movement skills because they're actually not taught and they're not being learned. So we're going to, I have a question for you. You don't have to shout out the answer, but I want you to think about this. Do you know the difference between jumping and hopping? Just in your head, do you know the difference between jumping and hopping? Okay, a hand, does somebody want to tell me the difference between jumping and hopping? Anybody want to take a shot at it? I'm going to let Pam do it. Go ahead, please.
Jumping is on 2 feet and hopping is on 1.
We get the most interesting answers when we're at conferences and we ask that question about intensity, forward, backwards. So what I'd like you to do right now is will you jump? Will you do just a couple of jumps at your seat? Right? And jumping is 2 feet. Jumping is 2 feet. This is how I would teach parents or children. Okay, so we said hopping is 1 foot, correct? So can you give me a little hop? It doesn't have to be a real high intensity. Great. Will you change to your non-dominant foot now? Okay, so you just hopped on your non-dominant foot. Did it feel a little funny to you? That's how every skill feels to a child just learning it. Not quite right? Because the message, the signals to the brain aren't there for them yet. Okay, so this underestimation that we talked about with parents, when I go out to do parent ed, I'll say, whose child can skip? We're talking about preschoolers. All the parents raise their hand. Yes, my child can skip. My child can skip. And when we bring the kids back out, no child can skip. And Pam can attest, she gets middle schoolers who cannot skip. Okay, so real quick here. Can you jump for me just a couple of times? Great. Okay, you can jump, so now you can learn to hop. Can you hop 2 times? Hop 2 times on the other foot. 2 times again. 2 times. Can you hop 1 time on each foot? Can you bring your knee up? And you are doing what? Skipping. It's that easy. It's that simple. So all the photos that you're going to see in this part of the, actually all our photos are kids that we've actually worked with in the state preschools. Thanks for doing that. And now you can all go out and teach skipping, right? Start asking your adult friends. So these are just fundamental movement skills, right? Crawling, you have to be able to crawl before you can walk or run. Yeah? Tossing is the earliest throwing skill. So we go out to state preschools. Here I have kids beautifully hopping and jumping. And you can also see some of the tools of my trade, right? So over here, they're jumping on bubble wrap. I love bubble wrap. So if you ever get a piece of bubble wrap, bring it, find a child, put it down, they will jump and hop to their heart's content. So these are fundamental movement skills, but if you couldn't identify them, if you didn't know them, you wouldn't be able to teach it. Another thing that we find, Jose talked about how young the city of Santa Ana is, right? I have parents, 24-year-old parents, who may not have had a movement experience themselves. If they grew up in a home that had multiple families, where do these families go to play? There isn't a park, right? I've worked with families in apartment buildings where they're not allowed to use the green grass on at the apartment building. Kids are not allowed to play there. So we have to find opportunities to play. I was lucky enough about 10 years to be introduced to some women in an apartment building who wanted to find another place to play, and that place to play was the parking lot. So that's kind of where a lot of my activities came from. You can see that this is one of the tools of my trade. This is a foam swimming noodle. They're 99 cents at the 99-cent store, Dollar Tree, those kinds of places. I cut them in half or thirds. This third is for a toddler, right? And here you can see these two boys are doing what we call the chopstick carry with a beach ball. And what are they learning, right? Again, Joan said this morning, the skills that are learned in play are cooperation, problem solving, right? This is a problem. How do I do this? At what intensity level do I do this? They're learning to use an implement, not a bat or a piece of lacrosse equipment, but they are learning to use an appropriate implement. So I do physical activity events all over the county of Orange, primarily with preschool families. And this is out in one of our neighborhoods in Huntington Beach that's actually a very low income. And what we've identified is, so we have this fabulous partnership, right? And the Children and Families Commission has a great partnership with UCI. If I didn't have the research, I'm the boots on the ground, but if I didn't have the research to inform me, I wouldn't be able to do the actual work, right? And I wouldn't have the credibility. But we have some other really important partners in the community, and those are families and teachers, people who are interacting every day. And you can see here I have dads, right? And that doesn't happen a lot in a preschool classroom, where the dads feel comfortable to come in and participate with their kids. But when you add movement, and just a little caveat, I never use the word exercise, right? We use fit fun or active play, because exercise for some families, it says, oh, I'm going to go do weightlifting or that kind of thing. So you can see they're playing noodles and they're doing like a choo-choo activity. You see the smiles, right? This is actually fun, and they are exploring their fundamental movement skills. And we get a lot of fathers out. This mom is just playing a little tag game. They're chasing a paper plate. Right? There's a fly on it, but they're chasing a paper plate. And they get their heart rates up. And so what fundamental movement skills? They're using an implement, so they're striking, they're running and or walking, and they're cooperating. I get very little fighting. Why? Because we keep everybody busy. Right? So here are some of my teachers. I have to give a shout out to Alex. The man in the tie is a preschool teacher. And this is, they all wait to go wash their hands, right, to go use the restroom. And he's stretching while each child goes in to take their bathroom break. And he's not afraid to do it in his slacks, his shirt, and his tie. Now, how about that? I love this man. Oops, and I love vest. We'll save that last one. Toddler teachers, right, working directly with the kids. That's bubble wrap on the bottom here, too. So you want to come back up and let's tag team on this one. So in the beginning, it was the two of us, and our collaboration, our partnership, led to so many other partnerships, and one of those is the Health Scholars Program. I think that's our next slide.
And the Health Scholars Program actually partners also with Green. And the value of the Health Scholars Program is that it's a pipeline program promoting the retention of underrepresented minorities in health fields. And the HAPPY program is built out of that, and HAPPY stands for Health and Activity Programs Promoted for Youth. And it was initiated by these two young ladies right here in this picture on your left, Nancy and Janet, who wanted to just get children up and moving. One day, actually, when I was visiting the Green Project, I noticed that there was a child that was trying to grab a pen, and was trying to be active, and their mom was playing or was dancing in Zumba. And I was like, goodness, Dr. Zalabor, we've got to do something to get these kids engaged. And these ladies provided that opportunity for the children in Green. So now they were trained by Arlene, and they started to promote the activities that you saw pictures of previously. And so they go out and they engage the children in active play on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays when their mothers are participating in Zumba. And with that, they now have 15 additional volunteers. And so there's a momentum that's growing, and they go and they participate in family fun days at local preschools, and they're really, it's almost like a term that Arlene likes to use is they're an amoeba in a way. And so essentially there's this passion for movement, this passion to promote exercise and activity without using those words in a fun way, and it's being infectious. And so now they're continuing to do that, and the program's continuing to grow. And then for the community groups,
These are just community partnerships when we do physical activity events or I do playground paintings. These are Help Me Grow staff, but we've really gained some momentum, and we have a lot of people who want to pitch in and help us create active play opportunities.
and then there are high school volunteers, you need like undergraduates and student organizations. And this center is actually worth pausing for as well. The Child Guidance Center is in Santa Ana, and then there's a clinical psychologist there, Dr. Marta Shane, who was funded by United Way to begin a program called Family Mealtime Coaching. Essentially what they do is they provide real-time coaching where parents have like a little cricket or a headset on, and there's a therapist on the other side guiding them through interactions. I introduced Dr. Shin to Arlene, and she was also infected. And so essentially now there's an active play component in the family mealtime coaching, and we're working to develop that even for children who are younger. And with that, we just really want to say, what can you do? So you can focus on the key messages above. You can promote active play. You can be infectious. You can promote healthy environments for young children. And you can do this with limited resources and space, but a lot of enthusiasm. So we have one last quick activity. We want you to stand. Again, this is a song I do with my niece, no judgment. And just make sure that there's nothing by you, because you're going to have to move a little bit. And you can skip, you can walk, you can march, you can run in place, you can do whatever you want to do, but I want you to move from side to side. So are you ready? We're going to face and go this way. So we're moving. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, switch. H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, switch. Q, R, S, T, U, V, switch. W, X, Y, and Z, and shake, 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 shake. Shake, 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 and shake, 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 shake. Okay, thank you so much.
Last, can you take your right hand really quick, place it over your heart. Take your left hand, place it over your right hand. This is how I teach heart rate to preschoolers. Is your heart beating faster? We didn't do an initial one, but yes. Your heart is happy. Right? It's a very simple concept. Right hand, left hand, I have a happy heart. Do y'all have happy hearts? Yes. We did our job.
Okay, thank you very much for another outstanding presentation. Okay, then we're gonna move on to our last presenters, Dr. Agron and Darren Lowry. Dr. Agron is one of the really pioneers of advocating. Pioneer.
That's another word.